The shir is being dedicated Louis Nishmas, the Kedoshim, the Fogel family, who were murdered in Itamar on Motzei Shabbat. And when we take a look at a tragedy like this, where words cannot even describe the feelings, the horror, the emotions that are evoked, the question we need to ask is, what is our response? What's the next step? In what way can we take this tragedy and be able to grow from it and be able to become better Avdei Hashem as a result of it? This family, as we know, were mamish kedoshim, both the mother and the father, teachers of Torah, people who brought so many closer to Kadosh Baruch Hu, went up in a fire, Shamayim, Parashat Vayikra as korbanos to Hashem. And it's this idea of korbanos, of tefillah, of closeness to Hashem, is the approach that I'd like to take in Mirz Hashem today as one approach of what we need to understand as our mindset when such a tragedy occurs, some response from us, and some mahalach, some path, and where we can go from here. I'd like to speak very briefly about the koach hatefillah, the power of tefillah in general, and then direct ourselves more specifically to the koach of tefillah on Purim in particular. And I think we must understand that tefillah is something, as Rav Meislish points out in source number 1, that Chazal described as standing birumo shalolam. It's standing at the highest point of life. And as Rav Meislish describes in Sichos Bavodat Hashem, there are different times to do different mitzvos and different places to do different mitzvos. One of the few unique mitzvos that are found at all times and at all places among all people, men, women, children, elderly, young, is the mitzvah of tefillah. And he notes that ach mitzvahs tefillah l'chora eina ma'ala yetera yesh lal shar mitzvah shebatorah. What is special about the mitzvah of tefillah? L'chora, it doesn't seem to be anything more unique, more special than all the other mitzvahs. What is it about tefillah that one can see that it can fill every single moment of one's life, wherever one is, at whatever day of the year it may be? And further, asks Rav Meislish, what is the idea that tefillah is called avoda shabalev? Based on the pasuk in the second paragraph in 1, Ula avdo b'chol levavchem. And you should serve Hashem with all your heart. Ask Chazal, Eizehi avoda shi balev? What is the avoda in one's heart? Havei omer zo tefillah, this is tefillah. But do we not need kavanah for all of our mitzvos? We should not do the mitzvot anashim ulumada? So what is it about tefillah that tefillah needs the kavanah? That kavanah is ma'kevet. But there are other mitzvos that also need tefillah, that also need kavanah. That kavanah may stop it from being a desired mitzvah. What is the concept of avodah shabalev? The Sichos Bavodat Hashem offers us a gevaldik mashal to understand what the core concept of tefillah is about. And we'll be with this mashal that we'll be able to gain a deeper understanding in what our avodas Hashem and tefillah is all about. He notes a mashal of a king who had a ben yachid, who had an only child. And the king one day said to this ben yachid, he said, you know, it's time that I start training you in the areas of malucha and the areas of kingship. And he says, I'm going to make you in charge of a certain province, and you're going to be in charge of dealing with all the affairs of that province. On the one hand, the son, the prince, was very excited. He was now going to have the chance to be able to serve his father faithfully. He was now going to have a chance to develop himself to be the prince, the king's son. But on the other hand, he was very sad. And he said, that's very nice. But he says, the problem is going to be, Ki me'ata kevanchi asuk v'taru b'mlachti kol hayom, said the prince, now that I'm going to be so engrossed in my work, Miboker v'ad erev, shuv lo yuchal l'rot p'nei aviv kemikodem. I'm not going to be able to have time to see my father like before. I'm not going to be able to speak to him. And therefore, his happiness was somewhat assuaged. When his father saw this, he says, I have a very good suggestion. I'm going to make it as part of your job that 3 times a day you are going to have to come and you are going to have to report to me the details of what's going on. And the king's son was so excited with this prospect. And sure enough, every day, 3 times a day, he would come and report to his father, the king, on what was going on in the business affairs. But once he was in front of his father, he would pour out his soul to his father, telling him of the joys he had in life, the tribulations he was experiencing in life, as well as the ups and the downs. It was a time